Is your Azure DevOps project really secure from day one? One wrong setting can expose secrets, break builds, or let bad code in. In this video, I'll show you the best way to create a project and configure it properly, from repositories to security and pipelines. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today, I'll walk you through how to create a new project in Azure DevOps and set it up properly, using Microsoft recommended best practices. First, you need to create an organization. If you already have an organization, you don't need to create it again. I've already shown how to create an organization in my previous video. In this video, I'll focus on the best way to create a project. So let's get started. I'm logged into the Azure DevOps portal and currently inside my organization. You can see that I already have 2 existing projects. Now, let me show you how to create a new project. For that, I'll click on the New Project button. Next, give your project a meaningful name and add a short description. The description is important from a governance and long-term maintenance perspective. Then, set the project visibility. By default, it's set to private, which is recommended for most enterprise scenarios. You can also choose public if you want the project to be accessible to everyone. To create a public project, you need to click on the Try GitHub link. Under Advanced Settings, you can configure the version control system. By default, Git is selected. You can also select the work item process. By default, it's set to Basic. Then click on the Create button. That's it. Now, my project is being created. My Power Platform project got created. You can explore everything from the left side menu. You have the project overview for a quick snapshot, the summary for key details, dashboards for tracking progress, and the wiki for documentation. Boards are used to manage work items. Under Boards, you'll find sprints for iteration planning, queries to filter and track work items, delivery plans for cross-team timelines, and analytics views for insights and reporting. You can see the analytics report from here. Repos is where you manage code, branches, pull requests, and security features. Pipelines are used to automate builds, tests, and deployments. Test plans are used for managing and tracking manual tests. Artifacts are used to manage and share packages. And that covers all the menus you'll see on the left-hand side of your project. Now let's dive into project settings to configure it the right way using Microsoft best practices. Under General, Overview is where you manage basic project details. You can rename your project. You can describe your project. You can change the logo of your project. Then you need to save it. You can add additional administrators. This is the only one administrator for now I have configured in this project. You can disable or enable the Azure DevOps services like Boards, Repos, pipelines, test plans, and artifacts. These are all enabled by default. However, based on your need, you can disable or enable them. In Project Usage Limits is where you control and monitor resource consumption for the project. If you want, you can delete your project as well. You need to click on this Delete button. This will delete your project from Azure DevOps. Then coming to the Teams section. This is the Power Platform project team by default. Got created. You can create a new team from here using the New Team button. Give your team a meaningful name. For example, name it Demo Team, and then add members to the team. Add a brief team description and assign a team administrator. Then, configure permissions as required. Then click on the Create button. This is how we can create a team here. Under Permissions, you manage security groups and control access at the project level. This is where you assign roles, limit administrative access, and follow the principle of least privilege. From the description column, you can understand exactly what permissions each security group provides. We can create a new security group as well. Here, you need to name the group, add members, and provide a brief description. And that's it. This is how you can create a new group here. The Users tab lets you manage individual project users. Next, the Notifications section lets you configure alerts and email notifications for the project. Build controls alerts related to build results. Code controls notifications for commits and pull requests. Pipelines controls notifications for approvals, manual validations, and pipeline events. Under Release, you can configure notifications for manual intervention pending, deployment failures at different stages, deployment completion failures, and deployment approval pending. By default, all of these are enabled, and you can disable them based on your project requirements. You can create a new subscription from here. You can click on New Subscription to create a new notification subscription. You can also configure the delivery settings to control how notifications are delivered. For delivery, you can choose to send notifications by email to specific users or disable delivery entirely. This is how you control notification delivery settings from here. Next, we have service hooks. Service hooks are used to integrate Azure DevOps with external tools by triggering actions when specific events occur. Click New Subscription, pick a service and event, and configure the settings. Dashboards let you create, edit, and delete dashboards to track project metrics. You can enable or disable the ability to create, edit dashboards, and delete dashboards. Next, let's move on to the board section. Here, you can manage project configuration. In project configuration, you can create and manage sprints and iterations. These iterations are used by teams for sprint and iteration planning. You can configure the sprint settings and assign the iteration to a team using the area path. You can also create and manage area paths here. These area paths determine what appears on a team's backlog and which work items the team is responsible for. Next is team configuration. Under General, you can configure the backlog levels, such as epics and issues. You can also configure team iterations, area paths, and templates. You can set the team's working days as well. Capacity planning and burn-down charts are calculated based on these working days. Next is GitHub connections, where you can connect GitHub with Azure Boards. Next, we move to the pipelines configuration for the project. The first item here is agent pools, where you'll see Azure pipelines and the default agent pool. You can also add a new agent pool by clicking Add Pool, selecting the pool type, and saving it. Managed DevOps pools are Microsoft-managed build agents. A self-hosted pool uses agents that you manage yourself, giving you more control over the environment and tools. An Azure Virtual Machine Scale Set pool uses Azure VMs that automatically scale up or down based on pipeline demand. Next is parallel jobs, which control how many pipeline jobs can run at the same time. In this trial tenant, private projects get one free self-hosted job and no Microsoft-hosted jobs. Public projects get unlimited self-hosted jobs. Enterprise tenants may differ. Next is retention policy settings, where you control how long pipeline runs, logs, and artifacts are retained before they're automatically deleted. Next is test management, where you can enable flaky test detection. Here, you configure the detection type, system detection or custom detection. Select the pipeline to monitor for flaky tests. You can select all or specific pipelines. Decide if flaky tests count in pass percentage, and allow users to mark or unmark them manually. Next, let's move on to service connections. This is where you create and manage connections to external services. Service connections securely store credentials so they can be reused by pipelines. You can create service connection from here. Next is XAML build services. This is used for managing legacy XAML-based build pipelines from older Azure DevOps setups. Under Repos, Repositories is where you manage all the project's code repositories. New repos can start with secret protection and code security enabled. Here you configure default branches, TFVC, branch permissions, and PR behavior. Repository policies enforce naming, validation, and size rules. Branch policies protect critical branches. Security lets you manage permissions and download reports. From here, you can create a new repository by giving it a name and selecting a .gitignore file. Next is project-level artifact storage, where you manage storage used by artifacts. Next is retention. Here, you control how long automated test runs created outside of pipelines are kept, along with their results and attachments. You can also set how long manual test runs and results are retained after a build is deleted. And that's all for today. You now have a complete overview of project settings, boards, repos, pipelines, and more in Azure DevOps. And in the next video, we'll dive into setting up pipelines in Azure DevOps, step by step, so you can automate your builds and deployments like a pro. Stay tuned. Before you go, boost your AI skills by checking out my Copilot Studio Masterclass playlist. It's designed for beginners to advanced users, helping you master agent development. The link is at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more tutorials.